Hi friends! Enough talking already! Let's hack right in to my sewing and quilting hack video. Okay friends, right out the gate, here's a bonus tip. Throw out all your crooked pins. How you pin your blocks together really does matter. Let me show you. For tester block number 1, I'm going to eyeball it and not use any pins. Oh yeah, I wonder how it's going to turn out. Yeah, no. For tester number 2, let's put some horizontal pins in, like they do in garment sewing. Looks good at the start, but let's see. It's off. Let's do better. In quilting, the pins need to be placed vertical. That's your best bet. I've got 2 ways for you. One to go across the seam, and the other one go down both sides of the seam. Let's check out these results. Did it change things? Yes, it did. Does it sound silly to you for me to say that an rotary cutter changed my life? Well, friend, it is true. It did. You see, I have developed arthritis in my hands and wrist, and I was always very sore after cutting, and sometimes I couldn't even cut with my old rotary cutter because it was just too painful. Now, I have nothing against my old rotary cutter, not at all. It was me that changed, not it. Take notice, though, as I attempt to use my old rotary cutter. It's very foreign to me in my hands. I have been using the Martelli Ergo rotary cutter now for well over a year, and I can definitely tell that the Martelli cutter fits me perfectly. This one does not. Actually, I feel like I'm going to hurt myself when I was using it. It does take a few days to get used to a new cutter, though, especially when your wrist is going in a different position ergonomically. I can tell you this, my wrist no longer hurts when I cut fabric, ever. And for all you lefties out there, they got you covered too. So now you know my story about the funny looking red cutter that I use in all my videos. Questions answered. For this next hack, you're going to need to gather up all of your batting scraps. Lay a piece of cotton fabric over the batting scraps and give them a good hot press. They need to be nice and flat. Cut some straight edges on them. I've got 2 ways to share with you how to make Franken batting. The first one is to do a zigzag. It works okay, but I think we can do better. This is a roll of batting seam tape. To me, $10 is a lot to pay for that. This is a fusible easy knit made by Pellon. Another name for it is tricot or tricot. Wherever you're from, you'll say it differently. Normal price was $1.97 at Walmart. I ended up getting it for $1 a yard at Walmart, and so I think I bought the whole bolt. I ended up cutting 1 to 1.5 inch width strips of the Pellon. Get the 2 pieces of batting extra close together and then lay that strip over top of the seam area and then iron it down to fuse it. I'm not sure if it needed it or not, but I'm usually overkill on everything, so I went ahead and turned it over and put the Pellon on the other side too. The really nice thing about this particular fusible is it's very flexible and stretchy, so it'll move with your batting. My ruler storage hack is so simple, but yet super effective when it comes to keeping my rulers off of my table. Now, I thrifted my metal container here, but there's tons of this stuff out there, guys, so I think you'll have no trouble finding a metal bin like this. It literally makes all of my rulers look super organized. And now, even with my rulers having my hooks on them, they still all fit in this bin. Speaking of rulers, here's a bonus tip for you. Get a carpenter's ruler. Makes it much easier to measure those very large quilts. If I've got them, you've got them, we've all got them. It just happens. We get nicks in our rulers. It's acrylic and it's not like it's steel, so yeah. This is an easy fix, friends. Grab a nail file. Just lightly file over top of wherever you feel those little nicks. It only takes a few swipes of that nail file and then take a tiny little buffer and just buff out the scratches. I turned the volume way up and you couldn't hear a thing, could you? Next hack, an old fave. I have a ton of new viewers and I wanted to make sure that you knew about this hack. All it is just putting some hot glue on the back of your acrylic ruler, placing it on the parchment paper so that it makes it flat. The absolute best non-slip ruler ever. Thank you, Tiff, from Tiffany's Quilting Life. Now my ruler hook hack, it was one of the first hacks I think I ever showed you. I came up with this hack initially because, again, that old arthritis, it was hard for me to pick up a flat ruler off of a flat table. I don't know, it was just difficult. The original 3M stickies worked the best. Are you ready for this hack? It's the never run around to the other side of your table when cutting hack. The large ruler should cover the length of fabric you're going to cut, and the smaller ruler will take care of the measurement of the strip that you need to cut. So just run that up and down, butting that ruler to the other ruler, and make your slice. No cardio needed. Bonus hack or no-brainer, I'm not sure. Do you cover your machine after you're done sewing? If you're like me and you don't cover your machine after you're done sewing, then I've got a hack for you. It's my handheld Swiffer to the rescue hack. Okay, in all seriousness though, the Swiffer absolutely does trap dust and particles within those blue little fluffy things, whatever it's made out of. I'm not sure. What I am sure about though is that every time I run my Swiffer over my machine in all the little nooks and crannies, it definitely does grab every little tiny piece of dust and particle that was on that machine. No doubt about it. Hey, and maybe you'll start in the sewing room with the Swiffer and you'll do your whole house. Nah. Next up is my tiny snowball block hack. Elmer's stick glue or regular sewing stick glue, either one works perfectly. Let me show you how I use it on a tiny, tiny snowball block. You're going to take your squares, your tinier ones, and put the glue on them and then just lay them out on your other block, just like you see me doing here in the video. Once they're all glued in place and stable, it's time to take it to the sewing machine. Not only do these tiny white blocks stay in place while you sew, you don't have to lift your needle out at all. You can sew right along the line that you drew to make the snowball block in the very beginning. I mean, I can't even tell you what a major time saver if you have to make a ton of these snowball blocks. Okay, let me show you how I finish this block out. You're going to set the seams, flip up all four corners, and press everything out nice and flat. Trim off the excess bulk on the back, and you're left with this super cute, tiny snowball block. Here's a hack for some of my new viewers. It's the seam flip hack. For some reason, on some sewing machines, not all of them, but mine has a ditch right before it comes up to the needle to actually stitch the seam. That ditch, it flips my seams and it makes me so mad. So take out some washi tape, lay it across that ditch, and let's see what happens. Problem solved in one hot second. I mean, come on. For all those tiny metal notions hanging around, I got you. You're going to love this. This is just a scrap piece of fusible interfacing. It's very lightweight, and you'll just want to trace around your magnet and then cut that out. The interfacing will make a really nice barrier for the glue so it doesn't seep through to our pretty fabric. Trace the magnet shape onto the back of your pretty fabric and then add just under a ½ inch all the way around. Cut around that outer mark. Take the bumpy side of that fusible interfacing and lay it to the wrong side right in the center of your pretty fabric. Iron it down and that will fuse the two pieces together. Now, did you know that one side of the magnet is usually stronger than the other side of the magnet? And that's what I need you to check for next. You can see here there's definitely a stronger side to my magnet. Face the stronger side down onto your interfacing. That way, when it goes up on our wall, that will be the outside stronger magnet to hold our items. Grab your hot glue gun or whatever fabric glue that you might have on hand and put it on the interfacing and then put the magnet right back down on there, pressing firmly. Then add tiny dots of hot glue as you go all the way around. Aren't they darling? Oh my word, these are so cute. Grab some damage-free stickies. Now I used some that were pretty strong, so I would recommend that just in case you don't want it falling. Oh my word, can I be any more organized? This is undoubtedly one of my most asked about hacks. One day I was going through my husband's toolbox and I found this right angle screwdriver and I thought, that looks pretty handy. The first time I tried it on my sewing machine screws, I fell in love. And it's been in my sewing toolbox ever since. I really do think it's so popular because a lot of us have dexterity issues because of arthritis or for whatever reason. And this right angle screwdriver, it just works. A lot of my viewers have this tool already. Tell the others in the comments if you have it and if you love it. It's not over. I'm not done with those hacks just yet. See this video right here? There's hacks in this video that you've probably never seen before. Click it, and I'll see you in the next video. Till next time on the Sewing Channel, take care.